Is Arukh HaShulchan Yodea Simon Chavtes Sivtes Vav to Yud Zayin, and this is supplemental day 153 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi series. And the Rama had been quoted in the previous sif at the end of Yud Daud. It said that Treifa and Avela Mitzvah. If you had a Chatzi Zayas, Avela Chatzi Zayas Treifa, because the Rama's lashon was Treifa Tchilas Nevela. The treifa is the beginning of Vela. And Arukh is going to pick up on this idea, which is a very strange one, as he points out here. Tesla, I don't know what he means. The Kabbalah treifa shemesa achakach, if it's about a treifa which afterwards died. Pshita, obviously, either be in Vela, they're both in Vela. But in the Kelo, I'll be doing the Basim Nechai, but then it's not similar to that, to which he's contrasting it, to Basim Nechai Sha'olim Lo Tochel Le'She Nevela, so there's no other concept in Nevela. Vayka was the treifa sheshachtos. It must have been a treifa which you shechted. Okay, fine. Okay, so what do you mean tchilas nevela? But when we shechted loti nevela, it's not a nevela. After it's never good. It's not. It wasn't to begin as a treifa, then become nevela. You shechted after the tuma. I'm not sure he means after the tuma. I guess you're not for achila. Obviously, I don't know what he means. After it should be. It's loti nevela tuma. It's not going to become nevela. I guess. I still don't know. It's not going to be nevela. It's only it's not going to become tummy. Right, that's the difference, right? Sheva shachta is not nevela. That doesn't. It's not makabel tuma at that point. The shechita is nevela. The shechita takes out of the category nevela. But Sasha before because that cloud Shas doesn't. Shas, I guess, it doesn't speak a treifa being beside nevela at all. And the Emesh Mitzvahs the Mila Sham Musham in Sasmi does about the Achila. Aim with Starve Terma Tamea in terms of Isachila, the kosher animal does not combine with a non-kosher animal. But rather kosher ones by themselves and non-kosher ones by themselves. Mashed sounds explicitly the Kotar Mistar Pazum said that all kosher animals, whether they are treifa or nevela, are going to meet star with each other. No, he says that's not the case. The Zohar Nevelos is clear about the Velos, not Trefos. That Mishnah Shem Kai, so Mishnah that not calling the base start for Zoom Zoo says that all the Velos join together with each other to make up the Shir Gazais. Klamar Afilu turns into even a carcass of a kosher animal, carcass of non-kosher animal. Bishop one says that is only in Tuma. It's in terms of the sort of Tuma that the provision attached to Tuma, the halachas attached to Tuma, that the carcass of a kosher animal, carcass of a non-kosher animal join together to make up the Shir of Tuma. But not in terms of the Isra Achila. The carcass of a non-kosher animal doesn't have tumas. Doesn't have an Isra in the Vela. Has the tuma of an Vela. Doesn't have the Isra in the Vela because ain't Isra Chala Isra. Right? It's already Isra. But if it's a kosher animal which became a carcass, they are mitzvah with each other gam achil in terms of eating. Such as the half a kazayas of the carcass of an ox, chatzi zayis in the veil of a sheep, etc. Of a treifa in the veil, where do we get this principle of it again, which is not evidently a shas, that in the veil and treifa joined together, half kazayis in the veil, half kazayis to treifa. Tezayin. So I think he's talking about not a treifa which was shechted, but a treifa which died. When he talked about Basim Nechai, he talked also about the case where the animal died afterwards. I would have died in the Vela. Anyway. Okay. There's also a typo here. There should be at least an edition I'm using. It should be there should be the prohibition of the Vela. I might say it doesn't devolve on top of the issue the prohibition of treifa. Once it came treifa one joint's lifetime, the prohibition of the Vela will not come and devolve upon the prohibition of treifa. That's it says the tchilas nevela. No, treifa is the tchilas nevela. Once it died afterwards, it can continue on and progress on to the prohibition of the vela. Also the acharkach, also on the meat which is cut from the animal while I was alive. And that also the prohibition of the veil will devolve. V'daik lo mishas l'shami. First in the shtas said the kemishem at the cholotos the veilus mitzdarf zu and zu, since all the kosher animals which are come nevelos, join them together. The treifa which died is now called nevela. And plus, mitzarfin. That's why you could. Paskin said they're mitzarf to make up a kazais. So the final analysis to all mitzarf together. Basar minachai, which is called treifa, and then mama's treifa, which is more a wound, and the nevela itself. Once it all become nevela, it's all mitzarif. Okay, and therefore we have Yudai now, which explicates this. Some eat half a size of chaylev and half a size of dam, forbidden fats and blood. Or chatzi size the middle of nivlas payment tameh. Chatzi size nivlas payment or the half a size of a carcass of a non-kosher animal, half a size of carcass of a kosher animal. Chatzi size like tummy, chatzi size of tummy, half a size of a non-kosher fish and half the size of a non-kosher bird. Etc. And other types of prohibitions aim at starving the same same. Don't combine together to make up the shear of kazais. It's only like eating half a shear, half a shear, but there's no malchus, no whipping. But if you eat the half a size of nevela of a non-kosher carcass of a non-kosher animal, and a half a size of a carcass of a chaya tamea, I guess half a size of a horse and half the size of an elephant, you know. The starving says that they join together. Pishain blav because they're one love. Therefore, if you have a non-kosher behema chaya, im of tameh with non-kosher bird or dog tameh or non-kosher fish, aim starving says that they don't join together. Because they're different prohibitions. Then nivlas behemotar, nivlas oftar, the carcass of a kosher animal, and the carcass of a kosher bird. The Simon Zem said they're joined together. Lav echad nem because they're part of one lav in the Torah. Which is a big chiddush because even though in terms of tumah they have different halachas, nivlas oftar eno matame el beis habliya. The carcass of a dead kosher bird is only matame when you swallow it. If you pick up a Purdue chicken, it's not matame. If you picked up a Purdue, not Purdue, whatever, Oscar Mayer hot dogs, they're matame you by picking them up, by touching them. At least I remember. I think the Beit Masa as well. Yeah, nevertheless, there's a prohibition of eating, so they are the equivalent. V'chein treifa in nevela, so to a treifa with the nevela, mitzdarf efes, mitachis b'arsi v'yudad. They join together, as we said, it's v'yudad. L'chein nireli the chalev, I think it says nearly, chalev chati sayis mi nevela, the chalev, half a size with the chalev from nevela, basar chati sayis mi nevela, and the meat of half a size in nevela. It's time for Marcus. They join together for Marcus. They should Torah. Because the Isna Vela Chal is the Chalev. Because the Torah decreed that the prohibition of Vela does involve the prohibition of Chalev. Vuadin Treifa. And that's true about Treifa as well. Hafagav al Chalev Yesh Lav Ne'atzmo. Hain Chalev is independent Lav. Become a commission is Labla, since when it becomes the Nevela Yesh Al Chalev Gam Shem Nevela. Chalev also has the name of Nevela. Because it's a Chal Isser in that case. Because it's an Isser Moisif. I think it's immersive because it adds on the rest of the animal. Chayin treifa, so to treifa, but adds on to the prohibition of chalev. Chayin the chalev mishchuta, so the chalev of a slaughtered animal, the vela of a animal which died. Mitzdarf, and they join together, including blav echad, they're including the same lav of chalev. Vuadin ledam, also in terms of blood. They mitzdarf, they join together. But now the chatzi half the size of a kosher animal, half the size of a kosher animal, half the size of from a non-kosher animal. They don't join together. By the specific prohibition of chalev by short kesef and a's by kosher animals. But by tummy animals, there's no specific prohibition. It's like their flesh. A person who eats from the chalev of an nevela and from a treifa, he gets two makas, mishum chalev on account of chaylev, we should nevelo treifa. On account of nevelo treifa, yesh b'zay is a moisif. Oh, like we said, it's a moisif. Shen is not but kol ocean kshnitva comes nevelo treifa, and this is vasip isa basa. B'shanta all the rest of the meat. Pocha Torah goes on the nevelo treifa chal is a chelik mush kasav. I guess a Rav Amagi, the Magi Mishnah says that the Torah made a decree in the Veil Shevet evolve on Israel. Ava Badam in Chil Bet Tamei Torah, but by blood, there's no difference between kosher and non-kosher animals. Lo Chil Torah, the Dam Bet Tamei Torah does not distinguish by blood between Tamei Torah animals. To see the Chol Dam, Lo So Chil, disease don't eat any blood. K'mosh Kosav, Rambam Sham Perek Vav Ayin Sham. In the brackets you can see, it's yes, concedes. He concludes, Kain Yerele Bedinim Elu. This all his Yudzain was all his extrapolations from these halachas. Okay, that's it for today.